This is tutorial 4-4 in GIS Tutorial Workbook 3. In this tutorial, we're going to be using coordinate geometry. We're going to be starting in ArcCatalog for this tutorial. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to want to use our catalog tree to find our My Answers folder that's in the GIS T3 folder. And you're going to want to go to your land records. Now mine's already been edited, so I was lucky enough to have a backup, so that's the one I'm going to use. And what they want us to do is they want us to open up our land records, geodatabase, our property data dataset, and look at the properties for lot boundaries. And when that's open, you just go to your Fields tab, and they just want us to look at the fields and attributes that we have. Right now we only have 4, and most of these are actually just auto-created when we make an item. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be adding a lot more to this. So we're just going to close out of that because we're done with it now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the main menu and go to Customize. And we're going to go to Customize Mode. And then we're going to go to Commands. And we're going to let it load everything. Now these are all the tools associated with each category. So we're going to go down to the one that they want us to do, which is Geodatabase Tools. And it's this one right here. And what you can do is there are some tools that you can put right onto your toolbar. This is a great way if you are constantly using the same tool. This way you don't have to go to Toolbox. You can just put it right out here to where you can always click on it. And the one they want us to do is create COGO fields. So we're just going to click and hold, and we're going to drag it up here, and we're going to put it right between, or right next to the info, and just release it, and now it's there. And once we're done with that, we can just close this down. Now what we're going to do is we're going to select our new tool, and it just added those fields to the lot boundaries. Now it's very important when you do this to have lot boundaries the one selected. It should be in here. If you had done it, had parcels on and clicked it, it would have created, actually I don't think it will do it in parcels, but if you had it on another line feature, it would not have allowed it. Or it would have done it to that one. So we're going to open up the properties for this now. And as you can see, it just added a whole lot more to this field. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to right-click on Property Dataset, and we're going to add a new feature class. And we're going to call it Landing Perimeter. One word. And then we're going to give it another name called The Landing at Eden Lake. We're going to make sure that it's a line. This one you can just skip. And here we're going to import from My Answers and our lot boundary that we just added COGO, which is an abbreviation for coordinate geometry. As you can see now, it has all the fields from that. Then you just click Finish. Well, we're done with our catalog, so now we can close this down. and we can open up our command. And we're going to be opening up the tutorial 4-4 mix file. Okay, and we're going to start our editing. But before we do that, we're going to add our new shape file. So we're going to go to backup, or well, it's in my backup folder. It should be in your landing records. And we're going to add our landing perimeter. Now, obviously, we just created this shapefile, so there's going to be nothing in it. So now we can start our editing. And you're going to want to choose the landing at Eden Lake as the feature we're going to be editing. And as we did in the last tutorial, we're going to change some snapping tools. Right now, everything is selected. What we're going to do is we're going to unselect everything except for vertex snapping. Then we can close that. And we're also going to change some editing options in units. We're going to want to make sure that it's quadrant bearing and that the direction units are in degrees, minutes, and seconds, and verify that it's 0 decimal places. Once that's done, just click OK. Then they want us to go to the Customize tool, or the menu up here, go to Toolbars, and open up our COGO tools. Then we're going to click on this in our Create Features menu. Now, before we begin, we're going to open up an image and look at it, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting a lot of our information from this image. So you're going to want to go into Windows Explorer, go to where your C drive is, and in GIS T3, you're going to want to go to Data, Images, and you're going to want to go to Landing Plat. And what they want us to do is they want us to look at some data here. The first thing they want us to do is look at the coordinate system. And as we come in here, you can see that a lot of the directions are used with angles that we used in the last one, where it's south, minutes, or degrees, minutes, seconds, followed by another direction. And then we have right here distance. So what we're going to be doing, besides just looking at this, is we're going to also be looking at what kind of coordinate system they use, which is right down here, which is NAD 83 Texas coordinate system, and then it has some other information on there. Now, some states, this is on every single plan that you're going to be looking at. Some states might not be that strict on requiring that. So if you ever get a image like this, it's very important to look at it, maybe even highlight those things, but only on a copy, never on an actual hard copy. And then they want us to come over down here on the right and zoom in. And there's some more information on the data system. And they want us to take note of these scale factors and convergence angles. We're going to be using those later on, actually in the next step. So you might want to jot these down. This number and this number. So we're going to go back to editor, and we're going to go to editing options. And what we're going to do is we're going to do ground to grid correction. And that's where these offsets come into effect. So we're going to put those numbers in right now. So it's 0, 25, 55, 23.23. But remember, we have 0 decimal places, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to come up. The 0.23. And I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. And we're just going to click OK. Now, if we go back in, you can see that it got rid of the 0.23. I think that's because this is set to 0, but that's what they wanted, so that's gone. I doubt that's going to be a huge factor, and when you see what we do in this tutorial, you'll actually see that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our traverse tool in our COGO toolbar. And when it first opened, they tell you go to the template and choose landing at Eden Lake, and then OK. But you still can't do anything in here, and this actually got me caught for a while. I thought maybe I didn't have a correct license, or I didn't have an extension that I was supposed to have. But the reason that nothing is showing is because you actually have to have a point on the map, and then everything becomes doable. So the first thing they want us to do is do the closed loop. What this is going to do is pretty much, it's going to make it a line, but the endpoint is going to be on the start point. So it'll pretty much be a polygon, but have no fill. But it's still a line feature. And what we're going to do is we're going to edit our start point. And we're getting that start point from this right here. So we're just going to put those numbers in here. Then just press enter. And you can see that the start point is now right in this corner here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come up here, make sure that direction and distance is the method we're using, and then we're going to put our direction in. And then you just click add, and as you can see, it placed one right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to continue along and start adding more points using this direction and distance. This can be a little time consuming, but actually they do that to show you practice makes perfect. once you start doing this, you can probably do it much quicker. And it's important to have the directions in there. I'm not sure how demanding they are and if they're capitalized or not. Okay, now we have our points in up to 4, and you can see here we start getting to a curve. Now you could sit here and probably figure out what the coordinates are and just have a whole bunch right here, but if you go and look here, they actually have a curve data, and we can use this to create a true curve in our feature. And it corresponds, and you just have to look in. I'm not really good at looking at blueprints like this, but the one that we're going to be doing is an arc length of 230. And I don't really see it on here, but it might be a combination of those. So right here is where we're doing our curve. And, it's right here actually. This is the delta, the little triangle. The R, capital R, is radius, L is arc length, and the CHBRG is the chord bearing, followed by the chord length. Now, the book goes on to say that these are not standardized, so it's really important to know the meaning of the things inside these forms that you're using. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to change our method to curve. And we're going to change the first drop box to arc. And we're going to put in 230.08. We're going to leave this one radius. We're going to make that 2805.13. And then we're going to give it a chord direction of N2-08-21E. And what they want to know is which way it's curving. It's going like this, so it's going towards the right. And just click Add. Now they want us to add a variety of new coordinates. There is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total. 1 is intentionally an error, and we're omitting 1. So there should be 10, but we're only doing 9. So what we're going to do is turn this back to direction distance, and we're going to go and put these in as quickly as possible. I'm not really going to be saying that much in this, so if you just want to fast forward, that's fine. That is a little error, but they don't show that in the book. They might get into that later on in a different tutorial. This is the one that's in error. As you can see, it goes right over the boundary. And as you can see, it causes all the other ones to be slightly off. But we're going to go in and we're going to change that in a little bit. This is where we should be having a additional one, but they're having us skip it to show us pretty much how to go in and fix that type of error later on. Okay, that's the last of the ones they tell us to do in this step. As we can see, it's not a perfect match. Not even close. It does not connect. So what we're going to do is we're going to correct these errors. Now we know 8 is wrong. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9, I guess, would be the first one. Yes, because you don't count the starting one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to select that one and you want to edit it. Now, a lot of people would think adjust, but that's not really the one you want to hit. It's this button right here. That's the edit button. And what they want us to do is they want us to change it from 80 to 40. And then click OK. And as you can see, it actually fixed a lot of them. The next one we have to do is we were supposed to add one. So what we're going to do is we're going to, up here, we're just going to add a new one. And it's now it closed the loop, but as you can see, this is off here. So what we're going to do is highlight that one, and we're going to move it up. And it shouldn't be there, but that there closes the gap. Okay, now what they want us to do is they want us to click on adjust. And as you can see, it highlights the whole thing. And if you go down here, it will tell you any errors. And as you can see, these are very small errors. When I did this first, a majority of them were 0 and for some reason -0 and 0.001. I'm not sure why I'm getting these other ones, but even with these, it's really good error. I think the worst one is number 12. So we're going to accept this. And then we're going to close our traverse. Then what we're going to do is we're going to open up our attribute table for this. And as you can see, the data has already been inputted for direction, distance, and if it was a curve, it also has the delta, the radius, the tangent, the arc length, and everything like that, and whether it's going to the left or right. And they also want us to look at COG distance and shape length, and they're very similar. There's a few that are a little off, but that's why we have our little bit of error. And that's it for this tutorial.